This is Sarah, blog editor, and I'm here with Meridiosyncrasy, one of your Neo Tokyo merch team members. This series of interviews is designed to introduce citizens to notable members of the community. First of all, welcome, Meridian. How are you?
Hi, Sarah. I'm doing so well. Thank you for asking. And how are you?
I am good, and it's a pleasure to have you on again. I know we did this interview a couple years ago. Bloomington is kind of upgrading us, so now we're on YouTube with some 3D avatars, so this is going to be fun to do it again. Now, I already know the answer to some of these questions, but not everybody does. So start us off with your pre-crypto background and experience.
Yeah, absolutely. So I feel like my background and experience has kind of been all over the place. I have a really hard time sticking to one thing because I'm just such a curious person. I like to get into a lot of things that interest me. And so the backgrounds that I have had is a lot in fashion, a lot in marketing, and a lot in like business startups. And kind of all of those combined when, crypto, NFTs, and art started coming out. Like all of those three things just aligned and attracted me here.
And you have a pretty impressive fashion background. So get me into that.
Yeah, sure thing. Okay, so in my fashion background, professionally, I did actually graduate from FIDM, which is the Fashion Institute of Design and Merchandising here in Los Angeles. Leading up to that, I was super into like DIY, alternative fashion. I was very much like on early YouTube, very much inspired by creators and people doing social media and people just making things that are, kind of different from what you would just kind of see in everyday stores and stuff. Let me move into a different room.
No problem. Yeah. And while I know your boyfriend's in Neo Tokyo as well, and he helps you out, and he's kind of got the Twitter account. I just recently found out Meridiosyncrasy has the awesome Instagram account. So if you guys want to support, you should definitely roll over there. Now, give us a story of how you got into Neo Tokyo.
Yeah. So because that's also kind of related to like the fashion. Let me bridge that over. So when I was kind of growing up and like getting into the fashion, and then I studied fashion in college. The nice thing about college is that they don't teach you how to do anything with your skill set. So business wise, I had to actually pursue learning about marketing. And so of the people that we followed during our phase of like learning about marketing, startups, and business, Rye and I, Rye's my boyfriend, had gone through Alex Becker's content. And so we were following Alex Becker for a while and then kind of skipped the marketing phase when it got to the crypto. And he was talking a lot about crypto. And then he was talking a lot about NFTs and then starting Neo Tokyo. We were following him at that time. And so at that time, when we were kind of learning about NFTs and stuff like that and getting really involved when it was like really buzzing, Rye minted. So we are Mintisons. And we minted our S2s shortly after as well.
Now, tell us your history in Neo Tokyo. I know a little bit about what you've done, but for someone that doesn't know what you've done in Neo Tokyo, what do we all know you for? What are you doing on the inside?
Yeah, so I am basically the core member for doing all of the like exclusive limited edition design drops that the Shibuya Mall releases in partnership with Neo Tokyo. Kind of up until I got to that point, I was doing, all of my DIY things that I like to do. We got into the Neo Tokyo community and I was enthusiastic about fashion in the crypto space and how people are doing a lot of like, the phygital things, the digital and physical combinations. And so since I come from obviously the physical background, I have like put in kind of like the DIYs and stuff. And people really did like my designs when I was kind of interpreting it just for like a mock-up or just something really quick that I can show the community that I was enthusiastic about joining Neo Tokyo. And then kind of when the bull market kind of went down and we were all in a lull, we started kind of, if you were here in the early days of the Neo Tokyo, you guys know that a lot of the people who were there just for the bull run left. And the people who stayed are the people who are more passionate about Neo Tokyo. And so we actually started building. And so when people started coming together and putting together the merch store, that was kind of when I got involved as well. And so with my designs and then with Crasher and tipsy at the time working to put the store together, I started contributing design ideas and stuff for the merch. And then, of course, we started collaborating on doing the limited edition pieces as well.
Amazing. And I know Crasher speaks so highly of you and your skills in combining things like fabric and design, and it's all very foreign to me. But what are you doing outside of Neo Tokyo? You've got an extremely talented skill set with design and merch. Give us a rundown of what's going on outside of Neo Tokyo.
Yeah, absolutely. So another thing about interests and whatnot, like if you were to put a single title that you can put on my occupation or interest, it would just be designer. Like I can design anything. I can design you a website for marketing. I design you clothing. I can design you your kitchen and bath remodeling because that's what I'm currently doing right now. So my family does run a home remodeling business, and I am part of their, growth and whatnot as well. So when I first started with them, I was answering messages on Facebook Messenger to kind of help with all of the inquiries and posts and driving traffic to our storefront. And then I kind of grew that into a team where I hired in VAs to manage that. And then I just kind of give them an overview management. And then now what I'm working on after that was kind of transitioning into like the local projects. So all of the installations for home remodeling and whatnot. I was helping with that, doing 3D models and designs and whatnot. And then now just kind of in the online marketing space for this home remodeling business for my family. So that's kind of like where I'm currently at as far as like my day job. And then on my side, other than Neo Tokyo, I kind of on and off on socials, and I'm working on like my own fashion brand. Um, Up and down on my fashion brand just because I get so caught up in other things that are going on in life. But yeah, those are the things that I do outside of Neo Tokyo.
So it sounds like you have a really large visual design skill set. Now,
Yes.
citizens, for citizens who are looking for help, maybe in something you do, what would be your main expertise? Like if someone wants help for something, why would we tell them to go hit up Meridian for advice?
I definitely think the fashion background is where I would provide the most expertise as far as how it also fits in like the crypto industry. Being able to kind of really bring together the expertise of physical fashion, not just in like, oh, I like to design. I have a background in manufacturing for fashion. So that will really be able to bring something to life from just a visual idea to actual completion, production, fulfillment, all of those things in between. And developing products is a lot more than just, throwing a picture onto a print on demand product and growing a brand out of just that.
I think that is a good point to distinguish because, we can all go on some website and add a graphic to a t-shirt. But there's so much more behind fashion. And for someone like me who has never paid attention to the fashion industry, I've paid attention to your guys' chats and all the things that goes into the mall. And there's a lot more. And I know we talked before, with things like you were discussing fabrics and the type of fabric and the quality and the weight and all these things that I don't even consider when I go shopping. So it's nice to have an expert. So anyone that's out there trying to build a merch department for their own project, I would definitely recommend hitting up Meridian for some expert advice. And here's a question I have that I'm very curious on because I'm going to do some shopping here at Shibuya Mall soon. What's your favorite piece in the
My
Neo Tokyo?
favorite pieces, oh
Yeah.
man, if not to like toot my own horn, but the limited edition pieces really are my favorites. And that's just really because of how much work was put into it. Really going in through, like you said, picking the fabrics, picking the graphics, picking the threads, picking where zippers are going to go, your, cuff fabric and everything like that, lining. All of those things are identified in custom material projects. And it's so much different than the other items on the shop that are print on demand. We, of course, have to put a mixture of both because otherwise we'd only have like 2 or 3 things on the store. So there is a place for everything. But yeah, my favorite, honestly, would really be the most recent launch that we did for the Sukujan jacket. I don't know how much people know about the Sukujan jacket as far as like what the Sukujan jacket meant to us prior to us actually putting it out there. But when we were coming into this project, we really wanted to kind of embody like what would a great like garment or merch piece that would kind of symbolize and like culturally be significant to Neo Tokyo mean? And so Neo Tokyo, because obviously no Tokyo, we have a lot of Japanese influence. The cyberpunk genre comes from there, from Japan, and Tokyo itself obviously is the Japanese major city. And Neo Tokyo being that kind of cyberpunk aesthetic, we were trying to like think about the cyberpunk, aspects, and that's obviously where the kind of graphics and the colors came in. But then the garment and the physical, like um, all of these influences come from Japan, but yes, our founders and stuff are here from America, United States, and a lot of our members are also here from the United States. And so, kind of like the Japanese kind of American mixture and culture that was. I was kind of looking through garments and their histories, and the bomber jacket is a very popular kind of silhouette and jacket for a lot of people, like just worldwide. And kind of making it special, I found and came across the Sukujan bomber, which came out, I think, during like the early world wars and stuff, where there was some, conflict and whatnot between the Japanese and American communities. But that kind of Sukujan jacket came out of that like cultural time of like uniting those two cultures. And so significantly, I really like that the Sukujan bomber. And that's specifically like you have a bomber silhouette made with satin fabrics and bold embroidery. Those are like the key things. And that's like all of that cultural thought process and like, going back and forth with Crasher and the other team members about like, oh, what are your thoughts on this garment? And then, of course, coming to actually pick the fabrics and pick the graphics and picking on designing all of those and the work that everyone put into it. It was just something really amazing.
I am so glad you went on depth on that, because that was the answer I wanted, but didn't know the question to ask. I know these pieces, almost all of them have this kind of history and thought that went into it, but it's hard for us on the outside to understand how much goes into these pieces that you guys do. So the Sukujan bomber, Sukujan, did I get that right? Say it again.
Sukujan, and I'm wondering if I'm butchering it now too, because I don't have like a Japanese speech like nativeness in
Right.
me. Yeah, but
Good
we've
enough for
hosted a
us.
Sukujan lately.
The Sukujan bomber. Okay, I'm going to check that one out now that I know the history, because it just got all that much more interesting. Okay. Now, I don't even know if this question is relevant anymore, because I have no idea how you would have time for hobbies outside of everything you do. But if there is anything outside of your work, do you have hobbies or outside interests or anything else that you do that someone else might be able to relate to in the Citadel?
Yeah, absolutely. So there is so much that I do, and I have incorporated a lot of obviously my design interests into my work itself. So taking out the work and the hobbies related to work, I very much love spending time with my family. So Ryan, my boyfriend, we like to do a lot of like just going out on dates. We watch movies. We watch a lot of movies. We love going through like the top 100 on IMDb and like kind of discussing and reviewing our thoughts on like the why these things are and the themes of these movies are significant and why it's like on the top. I do that as well with anime. And of course, spending time with him also means spending time with like my brother. And we love to like, play games and travel. So, just local traveling and road trips up until we visit Japan and fly there a lot. My brother's been there twice and we hope to go in the coming year. But other than that, yeah, so just being with family and enjoying our time together and just kind of discussing like thoughts. Obviously, I'm highly involved in different aspects of business, whether it's with our family or with the Neo Tokyo community. My brother runs his own business as well, so we love talking about business and that kind of perspective.
I love it. And that gives me one more follow-up question. You spoke of traveling. I know you made thing at the 2-year anniversary event. You were decked out in all your own fashions and looked amazing. Will you and your boyfriend be at the Rare Evo event in Vegas?
Oh my goodness, everyone has been asking, and I much would love to go because I love Vegas and I just love bringing my clothes and taking photo shoots there because everywhere looks amazing. Unfortunately, this is a specifically critical time for my family business, specifically with the marketing. So I'm kind of tied here, and I don't think I would be able to attend as much as I would want to.
Well, I think you will be represented because your merch is going to be all over the place. So I think that should be the job.
Awesome. Yeah, definitely. Everyone take pictures for me when you go and see everyone wearing the merch. I would love to see them. Oh, I would wish to be there in person.
I've been seeing the orders all over Twitter. You practically will be there in person. And I think that is all we have. So we're going to wrap this up. This is Sarah, block editor. Today we had Meridiosyncrasy, one of your merch team members, and we will be back next week with another episode.